I'll be giving Soaring Sky Precure episode 13, like number 9 on Crunchyroll's website. And now I will be starting my reaction in one little scene in some regards. Pre- Previous episode was the first episode of Soaring Sky Precure that has me a little worried. Because falling into like the same sins of the previous series. Disappointing fights for the big moments and main characters doing unintelligent things. But hey, so far the start in this episode's good because Lee Wonk is nice. The previous episode showed all the signs that at least of the previous three pretty kids fell into. Aw, that was cute though. I love they all turned out once. Ah, so close. It's all about patience though. Well, yeah, she learned how to walk. I mean, obviously there's still a bit more, but you know what? I will I will take that. I will take that any day of the week. But man, just that morning walking for a bit. Ah, it was good. Oh man. Especially when it came to like all the reactions and while I was saying like princess. Oh, that was so cute. Now saying that I really hope the next only half of this coming arc is an interesting and well done one because Kabuto Mora has welcome eventually. Because when Kabuto started out, he was serious, but then afterwards he became a joke, which is unfortunate because he really did have a great start. Hopefully, whichever new villain they introduce in the next arc feels like a threat. That is one weakness the Precure series has in general. They don't know how to write villains in most of them. It's either the villains are too weak, or if they're strong, they're completely unintelligent. Where it's like, come on, villain, are you purposely letting yourself lose? It's one of those two things in Precure series. And for some reason, at least of the last 3 years and currently this one, it's happened in every Precure series I've seen so far. So hopefully this series can be the one that avoids that flaw. I can only hope. And for good reason. Because it's a big accomplishment. Purple. Yeah, I was thinking purple. I think Illy wants that. Yeah, it's too. Maybe hey, let's the boss have a shot. No, I don't think that's gonna like the animal one. No, that'd be maybe. No, not the elephant one. Ellie looks annoying. I like how she's completely unamused. Yeah, their tastes are questionable. At least. Whoa! I'm sure now he's drinking him, so now he's gonna pick something that's gonna disappoint Ellie too. Ellie's gonna say no. That's what I guess we're talking smack. Whoa! They're gonna have to try a different shop. I don't know if they can do every time you a store. Yeah, it'd be pretty difficult. Yeah, she wouldn't be. Oh, she knows what she wants. Those actually do look really fit her. Can they check if they have shoes like that? Oh. Hmm. I swear those eyes. Yes! Our princess get what she wants. It's just shoes, Sora. I'm like, bro. Oh, well then. No, this is getting infinitely more interesting now. But you know what matter? Aw. I mean, it's too late though. Yeah, it's honestly the best they can do. Well, I don't know how to feel the whole episode was spent on them looking for the lady. Oh. Oh, yes! Yeah, kinda looks like similar to the portal to, like, travel. Hmm. Oh, that's cool. I was like, I swear, at least facial expressions are some of the best. I just hope they don't do anything unreasonable, like delay their return just to get the shoes back to the older lady. I just hope that doesn't happen. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I thought for a second they're gonna do something questionable like that. Don't tell me that she's gonna wait until they can find that older lady. Don't tell me they're gonna really waste an episode. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, we're getting some higher stakes here. Oh! Ah. Yeah, that's kind of sad, but it was gonna happen eventually. Okay, good, good. This episode had me worried for a second. Because sometimes when you have the Precure episode, sometimes there'll be some filler added. So this episode had me just a little bit paranoid. A little bit, though. Hmm. What the? Wasn't that story? I don't know about that. That's probably how she naturally snores. Ah, but on all seriousness, that's some great comedy right there with the way she snores. Why does she snore like this? That cannot be normal. It sounds like she's suffering under in pain while she's sleeping. Sounds like she's lacking in calcium in her bones. It's like, "Gah!" I honestly feel for her. I mean, hey, she may not live there that long, but I do like that element at least, though. At least here they're trying to tie up. Oh, that was a sweet scene right there. I also love how playful the music sounds, though. It's always nice and soothing to the ears. Oh, that guy doesn't even look like Ellie's paid attention to him right now. Bruh. Hey, she wants to walk. Oh, what's up, Melly Bloom? What happens, Melly Bloom? YouTube is hiding all my videos. So far, though, Melly Bloom, I gotta say, this episode's good and all, but last week made me lose a little bit of faith in the series. Just a little bit, though. This is still a good, pretty good series, but I watched the previous episode again. I noticed we're falling into the same trappings of the same pretty good series. You got disappointing villains, animation is lacking for key fights. I can only hope the next arc's better, Melly Bloom. I can only hope. And then we've got this episode when it comes to the whole our girl searching for this old lady regarding the shoes. That's pretty cool, Melly Bloom. Although they only won on Crunchyroll. You know what? That doesn't matter, Melly Bloom, because in Japan, Demon Slayer says everything. I think Demon Slayer is like number one constantly in Japan in viewership. That's still good. I'm not. It's not that I'm getting bored, Melly Bloom. This series is falling to the same sins as the previous Pretty Cures. We're having incompetent villains, well, at least with Pabaton. That same issue that Healing Good Pretty Cure had, same issue that Tropical Rogue Pretty Cure had, same issue that Delicious Party Pretty Cure. We have disappointing fights just like the previously Pretty Cure series had. Like, it's not that I'm bored. It's just that the series is having this. It's falling into the same pitfalls as the previous Pretty Cure series. Like, I see the same mistakes being committed, like, for the 4th time. That's the thing. Like, this series is still enjoyable, but every single time the Precure series does that, it keeps it from being great. When people ask me, "Oh, how do you feel about Precure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Precure's good, but it ain't great." It always does things to keep itself from greatness every single time when it comes to Precure. It's still a fun series. That's pretty much my thoughts on Precure. The series doesn't bore me. But it always does something, being like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, we got all this good stuff, but what there's this thing here, like this little wrinkle," pretty much. Yeah. Well, no, that did happen in Healing Good Melly Bloom. Even the Healing Good villains were bad. Even then, Healing Good had bad villains, badly done ones. Shidone was out-muscled by the girl in the aquarium. That was kinda sad. And all the villains in Healing Good were unintelligent. They could have literally ganged up on all the Pretty Cure girls for, like, multiple episodes, and they didn't do that. He was a good character, but the villains in and Healing were they were not smart. They were completely unintelligent. They lacked an intellect. It's like if I was literally the main villain in Healing Good, the Predators would have been destroyed in like the first episode, like straight up, because the villains in Healing Good are like completely unintelligent. They have no brains at all. That's the issue that thankfully this series hasn't fallen into the Healing Good pitfall yet. No, the rhythm was good, but you gotta think about the other villain. Shidone literally got muscled by a girl. You got the muscle-bound villain being unintelligent. He had multiple opportunities of finishing off all the girls, and he didn't do it. Exactly, that's what I thought too. No, I didn't have any issue with Kawan-san being spared. My issue was the girls didn't go and get him from the water so that they can interrogate him. That was my issue. They could have had so much information about the Empire, but of course, the girls needed to be simplified to say the most lightest word possible. Need to be intellectually simplified in order to make the plot dragged out for another 12 episodes. That was my issue with last week. They could have found so much about the Empire they're going up against, but instead they're like, nah, it'll be fine. It's shoes. It's shoes. This episode right here. Yeah, but girls be using these powers. No, this might be the first Someone Scrap Predictor episode that isn't that good. This is disappointing. I mean, yeah, it's possible that they acknowledge that Melody Bloom, but this episode is a this episode feels like a filler. The only good thing about the episode was that Ellie walked, and that's it. This episode, we literally spent an episode. They get shoes that Ellie likes. They realize this lady wants the shoe and really want them, and they get the shoes back to her and they utilize their powers. This episode feels like a waste. This is the first Soaring Sky Precure episode that isn't good. I'm gonna call how it is. What is this? What is Toei thinking? We went from the coolness of last week to this? This is what we get? Oh, oh come on. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. This is probably no, this is the worst Soaring Sky Precure episode I've seen. Holy cow. This felt like filler. Oh my goodness. I just don't know how some of the fans gonna spin. Who knows? You might enjoy it, Melody Bloom, because I saw the reception for this episode being positive. I'm wondering how. Literally, it felt like a filler. Literally, we didn't get introduced to a new villain. It was a girl's transforming to get the shoes with this older lady. It's like, really? This is what they spend their whole episode on? Holy cow. Ah, I would have preferred maybe an episode of Monstro getting physical training or something. Or maybe even Kabuto working a job adapting to human society. I would have preferred that. Anything. Hell, I would have preferred Monstro and Sword going to school. Oh, wait, they're crying? Oh. Come on. This ain't some intense emotional experience. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Ah, yeah, yeah. It's been a long ass time getting shoes for someone else. Bravo. Yeah, for a character we're never gonna see again. Bravo, writers. I'm expecting that villain disappointment. Boom. This episode really made me negative about the prospects of the series. Now, this episode right here. If there is any episode to make me lose my optimism about this series, it's Soaring Sky Precure episode 13. Episode 14 better be amazing. Better make me cry tears of joy when I see it. With how disappointing this episode was. Holy cow. But hey, at least we're going to Skyland. This is how the episode just started. We should have already been seeing them going to Skyland near the start of the episode 13. And then they slow down the middle, Molly Bloom. It's like the fourth time it happens. I'm not even shocked anymore. Like every single time I see a new predictor, I'm like, oh great, this is awesome. How long will it take for it to slow down? It happens every time now. Holy cow. This episode, I'm giving it a 4.5. And this is the worst Scoring Sky Predicure episode I've seen. Let's just preface the important things that happened. Ellie walking was a cool scene. Them going for shoes for Ellie was a cool scene. What wasn't cool was our girls essentially transforming to get those shoes for the older lady. In what way did that progress the plot? It didn't really do it anything at all. I'd say maybe there were positive moments, like let's say I get her making noise while she was sleeping, or even those bits where Sora and Masha are enjoying their time together before Sora and Tsubasa have to go back to Skyland. There were positives in this episode. But holy cow, this episode was a disappointment. You would think this episode would have like gone, I've had work with the momentum of episode 12, but no. And this is also why them letting Kawaton go in episode 12 was a bad idea. The thing is, I feel like it felt pointless, Millie Bloom. It felt pointless. We could have just interrogated Kabaton and asked for questions. They could have filled this episode with that instead of a flop. Oh, wait, the water, let it go! Okay. Maybe the next episode can win me back. It looks cool. Don't disappoint me, villain. I like his design. Okay. Good signs. Good signs. It looks like the next week will be filled with comedy. We'll progress the plot. Okay, that's a good sign. Next week looks good. But holy cow. This episode, that's why it wasn't that good. It just felt, what was there to gain from this? The only thing to gain was really just the bits with the start of the episode and maybe the first half. Second half, it felt like Tully was dragging their feet. Melly Bloom. I don't mind that there's not a lack of fighting. I would have rather have dialogue. That's important. I would have maybe preferred seeing how Carlton adapts to human society after being unemployed by the evil empire that he's up against. I would have maybe preferred a full episode of, I don't know, Monstro going through some physical training, considering she, out of the three characters, she's the weakest physically. She definitely needs to train herself up because Sora had her physical training in episode 12. Tsubasa had his athletics up in episode 11. They could have done that. I mean, maybe they could have even had some more schooling scenes. Anything would have been better than this. It's like, wow. Like, I don't mind the lack of fighting. It's what they fill the episodes that with the material that matter because I hope because out of all the Soaring Sky episodes, Million Bloom, this is the only one that's bad. Straight up. This is the only one. I also have a friend who's watching the series Melody Bloom. Oh man, my friend's gonna hate it. Oh, I kind of wish I would have reacted to the episode with them Melody Bloom because he would have been set off. Like you thought I was rough. He would have made me look like a powder cake in comparison. He would have ripped this apart. Man, now I really wish I had my friend react to this episode. He would have absolutely woo! Woo! He would have made my criticism in comparison, like he would have been on hardcore. Like this episode would have definitely sent off. Ooh. Oh yeah. This episode. That's why I didn't like this episode. Not saying it was the worst thing I've ever seen. It wasn't. There were positives. Like Toei could have made this episode. Like all the things I mentioned could have made this episode good. Now, and saying that, visually, it was a good looking episode. Yeah, I had to get happy because I racked it in zero. I love Happy. Happy's cute. That's why I needed Happy. And I also got, ironically enough, I also have Aruma. And Tsubasa's voice actor also voices Aruma too. So I got the trifecta of plushies. It felt like destiny getting the Aruma and Happy plushies here. But anyways, animation wise, the episode was actually good though. Like I'll give credit to the animation stuff. They didn't drop the ball here. It was the writing stuff that dropped the ball. Yeah, they should have done that, Melly Bloom, because last week, what was Toei thinking in giving the animation for Kawatan's fight such disappointing animation? Like after this season, having a few disappointing fights, you would think they would have delivered on the big one, but nah. Toei would be like, nah, I'd be fine. They're probably thinking us Critic fans are used to disappointing fights, so we can deliver a disappointing fight for a big moment. But yeah. That's why I'm starting to lose my patience with Soaring Sky because it's like, yeah, there's positives, but it's like if Toei's gonna mess up the big moments, and then it's like, yeah, I can't help but lose my patience because it's like, come on, Toei, if you're gonna not deliver in your big moments, then it's like, what is there to get excited about if whenever there's a big moment, you're gonna mess it up too? That's the thing about this series. It's like you can't trust Toei with Precure, but you can trust Toei with Digimon whenever it's Digimon. Here's the thing, Melly Bloom. Toei also does Digimon. When it's Digimon, I never worry about Digimon having a bad fight. They deliver in Digimon all the time. Thing is, well, Melly Bloom, Toei, you can't trust them with Precure anymore, but you can sure trust them for Digimon, and Digimon they'll always deliver. Almost every time they'll deliver. For some reason, they never miss in Digimon. At least visually. Writing wise, they miss on Digimon a lot. Writing wise, Digimon gets pretty rough. But visually, actually, Melody Bloom, it's probably because Killing Good didn't do that high. This series is doing better than the previous ones, actually. That's the thing. This series is actually doing decent, Toei. Tropical Road did okay. This one's trending up. This series is doing well for Toei. But the Tribune Twitter doesn't mean anything. Look at Chainsaw Man, Melody Bloom. What matters is the TV ratings in Japan, TV ratings and merch sales. Never go by Twitter. Twitter doesn't mean anything. What matters is the merchandise sales, the TV ratings, which Soaring Sky doesn't have good TV ratings, actually. It just happened to be just this episode and the previous one where there was a bit of disappointment. That's all. But regardless, at least the animation did their job. The voice actors and actresses did their job too. Like, even the guest voice performers, like the ones that aren't regulars in the series, but that had a role this week, did a great job. So, good job to them. and that's why I gotta give it a 4.5 out of 10. Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on the show, though. Well, yeah, that's my rationale for the rating, though, Melly Bloom. But in saying that, at the very least, even if this was disappointed, next week does look better. Next week, at least, it looks like the series is trending up. So, well, this is weird, Melly Bloom, but I'm gonna defend Toei here. Toei actually, when it came to because Soaring Sky, it consistently beats One Piece, but that didn't happen. Killing Good, Tropical Rogue, and Delicious Party didn't beat One Piece consistently. So to Toei's credit, the previous Precures were kind of on the stagnation side. This is the first time at least since I've been following Precure, which has been 4 years, my fourth year with Soaring Sky. This is the first time I've seen a Precure actually trend up. Usually Precures either trend down for Toei or they stagnate. This is the first time I actually see trending up though. So to Toei's credit, they were not expecting this. They were obviously not expecting this success. They're probably expecting just to stay the same. I'm gonna guess for the next predictor we'll have a higher because of Soaring Sky success, though. That's gonna be my guess because they'll be like, "Oh, Soaring Sky made money." That's probably what's gonna happen. No, I mean, yeah, this is still better animated than the previous three. This is still better animated. It's just that pretty much. But even then, though, Melly Bloom, I expected more from this episode. This episode was like weak, one of the weakest Precure episodes I've seen, and that's saying a lot because I've watched 4 seasons of Precure now, so I can say I'm semi-experienced, which is good. Hopefully, they go out in the next season too because this series got really high ratings. So hopefully they do that. Pretty much. And honestly, of all the Predictors I've seen Melly Bloom, every Predictor has had weak episodes. I guess this could testament to Soaring Sky where it took up until 13 episodes to have a weak episode. For other Predictor episodes, it would usually take longer. I mean, no, it would say no, they would have a bad episode quicker, I meant to say. Well, yeah, those are my thoughts on the episode overall. But aside from that, though, I will say this. Thank you very much, my Bloom. I will say this though. At least they handled Lily well this week, though. I like the way they handled. They handled her really great, and I love her quirky personality. I mean, yeah, I love that personality. That was nice. But anyways, thank you, Melly Bloom, and everyone else for watching my video. And I hope you have a great day or night, show. And yes, I will react to the next episode. I just hope it's better than this. But anyways, thank you so much, and bye bye, y'all.